Hey everybody. So today we're going to talk about things that I do to kind of keep my mind occupied when my anxiety levels are real high. Um, if I'm finding myself sliding down into kind of a depressed state. Also, if my pain levels shoot up. Um, there's a lot of different things that you can do. Um, Coloring is great therapy, and I went over some of those things in a different video. Color therapy is fantastic. There's a lot of different coloring books out there. There's adult coloring books. You can pick up kids coloring books for like $1 at Target in the dollar section. They don't have to be like super, intricate. They can be, just super simple. It just depends on how you feel, what your pain level is, what your mental state is at the time, and where you feel like going with it. I have several different levels of coloring books that I can choose from depending on where my state of mind is when I feel the need for color therapy. I have markers, I have colored pencils, and I have crayons. And colored chalks, pastels work really good if you're using really simple designs with a big, bold, open space to color, because you can blend it if you really want to get creative and you want to get your fingers in there and just feel, because sometimes unless your fibro is really causing issues with touch, sometimes getting your fingers in there and feeling that paper with the chalk on there can be really, really therapeutic. Other times, the thought of touching paper sends me over the edge. I can't do it. That's why, I have these coloring books, and there's a lot of times where I don't touch them because I don't want to touch paper. It just gives me the creepy crawlies. Certain fabrics give me creepy crawlies. I can go to the store and, that's how I pick my blankets and my sheets, is when I'm having a really good day, is I will touch them. And if I get creepy feelies that don't stop at my fingertips, I move on. And it's like I kind of have to rub my fingers off on my pants. And it takes a while for that feeling to go away. It's an ick feeling, and it's horrible. One of the things that I know that a lot of chronic pain sufferers do in their spare time, or at downtime, because we have a lot of spare time, to keep their mind off of pain, to keep their mind occupied, is crochet, or we knit. I never learned how to knit. I learned how to crochet first, and knitting to me, forget it. I don't like to keep track of my stitches. It's hard for me to remember now. If I have to count a stitch, forget it. It's over with. If I get distracted, it's done. I have to start all over. I have to tear it up, and it's a done deal. So I have to stick with something that I know, and that's crocheting. And so I learned granny squares, and I will put a link to the most easy YouTuber. I believe it's Thinks. Anyway, I will put the links down in the description box to the, I think it's 3 videos on how to do granny squares. And I've made one Afghan. It's almost a queen size Afghan. I did that in a month, using variegated yarn, and variegated yarn is just yarn that has a lot of different colors in it. So you don't have to change yarn colors, because that, to me, again, time consuming mentally. It's not really, it's pretty simple. I've got, because you have to change yarn because you're going through skeins of yarn to make these, but it's just, this is, it's huge, and I will post a picture. I'll put a picture up. But this is just, this is the border that I added, and this is what I mean by variegated. It's a multicolored yarn, because I get bored with just the same color yarn. If it's not just something simple like this on the same color, it's not going to get finished. I've got another Afghan that I started probably about almost 20 years ago, that it's still in a box, because it's two colors of, and I just got bored with it. But this variegated yarn, it's great because I'm not looking at the same color repeatedly. It changes color for me, and this is just fantastic, so I don't get bored with it. And this was just a granny square. And the videos that I'll post will teach you that. She's really easy to follow. She does close-up down in there. I just started a new one to kind of complement this one. It's on the same color scheme, sorta. Has the purples and kind of the teal. Again, it's a granny stitch, so you know, easy for me to keep track of. I don't have to count, and me and counting, not gonna happen. So this is, kind of reminds me of a Tetris game once it's all put together, or I don't know, but you know, it's got some beautiful purples, the teals and the grays, and so that's my new project. And then I've got a border with the same purple and the teal in there that I'll go around it. So that's what I do. Now, a couple of the other things that I do to kind of help me. My sleep patterns suck, as do a lot of other chronic pain sufferers. Trying to get comfortable. There's a lot of reasons behind why we don't sleep well. The anxiety, the depression, the pain, mind races. You can't get your mind to shut off. It's like you're counting sheep and all of a sudden you're off on some kind of tangent. It's like, forget it. There's no reasoning behind it. So I started doing some research when CBD oil became legal in the state of Texas. Now, CBD oil for Texas is legal for sale because it does not contain THC. And THC is the chemical that gets you high. Now, after much research and discussing this with my pain management, I got approved to vape this, and I found that one of my local head shops, Planet K, sells the vape oil, and so do many of the vape shops. Most vape shops carry it, but you want to make sure that you research your vape oil very, very thoroughly. You want to make sure that the vape oil that you're getting, that is your CBD vape oil, does not contain any propylene glycol. You want to stay as natural as possible. And when I discussed this with my pain management, I was given my little urine cup to do a home test just to make sure that I did not test positive for THC after a week of vaping at home. And sure enough, I was clean. So, which made sense since, you know, if it contained THC, I don't think it would be legal since marijuana is not legal in the state yet. Medical marijuana, I think that it is legal if you have a seizure disorder, but you have to have like 2 doctors write a prescription, and it's the red tape in that is just so outrageous that you know, if they would just get off their fucking asses on that, I think that they would see that opioid uses would go down, addictions to opioid prescriptions would go down. It just, there's so much would change. It would be a major game changer. But this is the one that I got. Okay, this is Green Garden Gold, and I got blueberry flavor, and I will have the link for this one down here in the description box as well. And this is a it's 100 milligrams of liquid in here, and what you do is you just shake it up really good, and it comes with a little dropper here. And horrible at getting these things open, and I don't know why. It's like it's childproof maybe, but anyway, it looks really disgusting. You can see the particles of plants in there. It's not something you want to taste. I made that mistake once. It coated my mouth in just this, oh, it was just the most disgusting, greasy, ugh. It's a vegetable glycerin base, and it was just, oh, I couldn't get that oily taste out of my mouth. The blueberry flavor is really good. I do like blueberries, and blueberries are a good antioxidant. I don't know how well they do being in a vape form, but this is my little vape pen. This is what I vape my CBD oil in, and my little panda. And this is where I put my vape oil in. And you can pick these up at your vape shops as well. If you're not a smoker or have never been a tobacco user, there's alternatives. They do sell CBD gummies. They're really pricey though. This little container of CBD oil was like $25, and that's about the standard. But I was able to get rid of my sleeping pills. That's one less thing to damage my liver. Hallelujah. So I'm very happy with that. I cannot take my pain meds at night at the same time that I vape my CBD oil. That kind of sucks, because it just totally knocks me out cold. This works really fast. Within 10 minutes, I'm really sleepy. The light goes out. I'm done for. That's how fast it works. And I'm out for the entire night. I don't wake up periodically through the night like I usually do. So there's benefits. There's drawbacks, of course, to everything. But I look at it this way. This does not have the side effects to the liver and the kidneys that my sleeping pills had. So I was able to get rid of those. So I will have, like I said, I will have the link to that in the description bar down below, as well as for the easiest granny square videos, as ever. I'll have that link below in the description box. And I will try to get a link to an article about CBD oil and how it works and what all it can help with. Now, if it's something that you'd like to try, make sure that you discuss it with if you're seeing pain management, discuss it with your pain management, discuss it with your primary care doctor if you don't have pain management. Make sure you discuss it with your medical team first. You do not ever want to try anything like this without discussing it with your medical team first, because it may have a reaction to something that you're already taking, and that's the last thing you want to do, is have more problems on top of it. So that's why I waited until I discussed it with my pain management doctor first. And that is like the number one thing to do. Never ever start or stop anything without first discussing it with your doctor. With the exception of crafts and hobbies, of course, that aren't going to overstress you or overtax you or anything like that. If it's going to help relieve stress, and it's coloring, if it's crocheting, if it's painting, if it's reading, listening to music, and sitting outside, anything that's going to help relax you, help you find your center, that's the goal. Don't ever let the pain overwhelm you to the point that the anxiety gets out of control. Because when your anxiety levels go up, the depression kicks in. When the depression kicks in, the pain levels increase. And it's a horrible, horrible cycle. And that's what we have to avoid as chronic pain sufferers, is we have to avoid that cycle. Make sure you find a good therapist or psychiatrist. You want to be able to have somebody that you can talk to, that's going to listen to you without judging you. And sometimes family and friends, they're great, but they're a little jaded sometimes, or they just don't get it. Having somebody who is trained like a therapist, priceless, really. That's it for this week. So, I guess have a great week. Be kind to each other and take care of yourselves. Peace.